What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. Today we are talking about a box, not just any box. This is a Debo box. Monster Bass was cool enough to reach out to a few YouTubers, influencers, and ask them to put their own box together. And this is truly 9 lures in here that I hand-picked. So it's not like some corny lures that they picked and want to put my name on it. They actually gave me free reign to pick whatever I wanted. 9 lures is what I picked here. So super thankful to them. Huge shout out to Monster Bass for letting me do this. Awesome deal. It's like almost $60 worth of lures in here. I think they're 29 bucks right now, so almost half off. If you use Alex Rudd's code BEARD, I think you get an extra 20% off. I know I've been getting bombarded with messages about, best picks for Black Friday deals and this and that, all kinds of stuff. So I figure this is a good time to talk about the box. So lure number 1, we'll go through all 9 lures, why I picked them, kind of how I use them, and just give you an all-around breakdown, and then I'll link it down below. A little portion of every box sold goes to me into the channel, making upgrades, that kind of stuff. So I appreciate all of you and Monster Bass for allowing me the opportunity. But first lure in here is the Booyah Covert Spinnerbait. Now this is the one, you might recognize it. This is the one Jason Christie won that Bassmaster on, one of the lures that he used. But this is chartreuse, white, and blue. Chartreuse and white's one of my absolute favorite colors around here. You can see they've got the gold willow and the silver Colorado on there. I'm fine mixing them up. I need to probably get more into like blade sizes and stuff. I don't really do that. Willow Colorado or 2 willows. I'll just kind of roll with whatever. I do kind of like the silver and gold mix in there, but this is a great way to mimic bluegill, shad. Spinnerbait has been my confidence lure the longest. Ever since I was young, fishing with Pops. Throwing a spinnerbait was just out of necessity, but dang it, it catches fish. So that's lure number 1. Oh, and I forgot to mention, mine's the only box that has 9 lures. All the other guys, Rudd, Burley, OWA, Fish and Lone Star, all these other guys only have 8. And I think Burley brought up, I picked 9 and put it in mine because I care about my subscribed fishing friends more than he does. So, hey, he said it, not me. Lure number 2 is a red-eye shad. Now, you know the Strike King red-eye shad, a lipless crankbait like this. This happens to be a green gizzard shad. I picked kind of a neutral color, just a regular looking lipless crankbait because, whether you're fishing ponds, a simple shad with a little bit of green and brown on it like that can mimic bluegill. I mean, that can mimic a baby bass right there if you're fishing a shad lake. Fall, some of you could still throw this right now. Here in Iowa, it's super cold, but coming up in the spring, a lipless, is one of my absolute favorite lures to catch fish on, especially red lipless. But a lipless like this color, you can catch fish on really all year. There's guys that throw a lipless all year long. You can yo-yo these things. You can cast them and retrieve them shallow. There's a bunch of ways you can fish a red-eye shad, and this is truly one of the staples if you fish lipless crankbaits, like a Bill Lewis, rattle trap, or red-eye shad. For me, the Cotton Cordell Super Spot, I love that one, but throw one of those in there. Now, if you've watched my channel for any amount of time, I love topwater walking baits, specifically the KVD Sexy Dog. I picked up this one. If you've watched my channel, you'll know that the Dizzle.
Oh, hi!
My buddy, Randy. This color is called the Shizzle. We got it as a joke, but it's like almost like a Tennessee shad look to it. See, it's got that green yellow. It almost mimics like a rainbow trout. Again, even just a baby bass. It's got those same greens with kind of a pearly white belly. A topwater walking bait like this one walks super easy. I love the color. Again, it's in a generic color, not some, crazy, silly color. The Shizzle was something that Randy and I joked about. I got a bunch for him, and now it's one of our favorites. I mean, it really is a fish catcher. Just kind of a plain white and green. Well, a little bit of yellowish in there, but great color, topwater walking bait like this in the fall when fish are chasing. The 4th of July is Randy and I's deal. We need to get out to a lake. There's a lake here, 4th of July a couple years ago. We absolutely smashed them. We were both throwing these. I caught, I don't know how many that day, probably, 20, 30 fish. On one of these. It was insane, but topwater walking bait, KVD Sexy Dog. So those lures right there, those 3 are almost 25 bucks. So almost what you can get this box on sale for right now. The rest of this stuff is extra. I told y'all it's a good deal. I wouldn't have done it if it was some corny deal that Monster Bass put together, but they put a good one together here. Next, of course, y'all know I love fine wood, pitch to wood, flip and pitch to wood. Now, I would have done a Reaction Innovations Sweet Beaver. They didn't have any of those. So one that I know people like way better than the Sweet Beaver, and I've used them a decent amount. Not as much as the Sweet Beaver, but they are definitely fish catchers. This is the 4-inch Green Pumpkin Purple Swirl Strike King Rodent. Now you'll see this kind of looks a little bit darker here on my camera, but you can see it's that green pumpkin with a purple swirl all the way through it. Just a super good looking color. Y'all know I'm a fan of purple. The Berkeley Havoc Pit Boss in the green pumpkin with like the purple flake was one of my all-time favorites. Talk about an old catcher. This is another good one. I mean, guys swear by these. There's folks that like these more than any other beaver style bait, but it's just a flat tail type bait. Great for cold water. Great for just flipping and pitching around wood because there's not a bunch of appendages on it, right? So it's slim, it's narrow, it goes right in, comes back out. You know, you could use it for punching. You could even take these little leg deals, pull those off, and it would just be literally that straight deal there for punching if you want to do that. I don't do a lot of punching here in Iowa, but I do flip and pitch to wood a ton. And that one right there will do it for you. Green pumpkin, purple swirl, awesome pick. And if you're gonna sit and sniff lures, there's nothing better than the KVD coffee scent. Okay, another rage lure. If you watched my video not too long ago, earlier this fall, I threw this exact lure, and this is, I had to pay homage to my pops on this one. 6-inch Tequila Sunrise cut tail worm. What do they call it? Their cutter? Yeah, cutter worm. Now, if you've never thrown these, the older dudes, you know, the old timers you hear talking about, and they're really not that old, you know, my old man, they would swim a worm. That was something big back in the day. You know, Shaw Grigsby talks about swimming a worm, and you take one of these, it's got this little deal here. You want to pull this off so your tail has free range of motion. Pull that off, and it's got just like a half circle looking tail there with the rage flange on the back, you can see. So it's got a really nice kick, and it's just the tail. Now you can flip and pitch this around like a stick bait on like a little 1/8 ounce like tungsten weight up shallow. I just had a 3/8 ounce weight. We were flipping and pitching around anywhere from 6 to 10 feet of water around wood, and this absolutely killed for it. I'm glad that Strike King brought this color back, Tequila Sunrise, and there's an orange flake. They've added an orange flake to it, which I don't mind, looks cool. But like I've said before, if you watch my channel, you know my old man's favorite soft plastic color, Tequila Sunrise, a curly tail worm, used to absolutely kill it back in the day for us. So I had to put one of these on here. I know my old man would tip his hat to that. So the cut tail worm. Okay, next up, I didn't put the actual vibrating jig in here. I already had kind of my lures picked out, but I figure most people, even, you know, beginners, have picked up a bladed jig, a chatterbait, right? Everybody's got them and uses them now. It's all the rage, but this is the Big Bite Baits 4.25-inch Kamikaze Swim On, and this is in the smoky gold color. Good color. Y'all see me do an unboxing of these earlier this year. This was one of the colors I picked up. There was also like the sexy gold or something like that. This is a good, just kind of dark, shadowy color. I mean, it's a good clear water color. It's dark enough that you can throw this on like a green pumpkin and it works well. Like I've got a green pumpkin here, you can see. This is just a regular jig. This is a Cumberland jig, but you can see that on there. Still a good looking color, even if you're just throwing it on, you know, like a green pumpkin chatterbait. So it's kind of a good all-around color. You could throw it on something white and kind of give it that smoky shad look to it. But you've seen me throw these before. It's got that kind of segmented, like broken up kind of tail thing, and that aids in the action of this tail. The tail doesn't do anything. It just bends here and goes with the motion of the chatterbait, the vibrating jig. That's what makes these really nice, because if you get some paddle tails that are too big or certain lures that have too much stuff, it almost works against the vibration of the blade and the chatterbait. This goes right with it. So the Kamikaze Swim On has been one of my favorite for a vibrating jig. Just using it really this last year, but it's a good one. I've only got a couple things left, and I completely forgot to mention, I'm doing a giveaway on one of these too. I picked up an extra box so I can give away to one of you all out there. All you have to do is comment below and say, good box, hook me up with the free box, something like that. I'm gonna pick a random winner here in, you know, maybe a week or so, and I'm gonna give this box to you. So you'll get the special Debo picked out box. Now next up, I've got a lure that I've talked about before, the Lake Fork Ring Fry. It's a ribbed, it's a different way to throw a wacky rig. I know people throw, you know, just a stick bait all the time and it works. I am a huge proponent of throwing these guys on a weighted wacky rig specifically. Oh man, the garlic on these is insanely strong, but you can see it's got all these kind of ribs to it, and then the middle is just like the real skinny worm in there. So if you put one of your O-rings on here, it's kind of hard to get this in the tube, like the O-ring tube, but put one of your O-rings on, hook that on there, and I guarantee you put this on a weighted wacky rig, and you'll see the difference when you watch this thing go down. Different look to it, a little bit different profile. This is the 4-inch, I believe. Yeah, the 4-inch, which is what I go to on like a weighted, smaller wacky rig. Really like the 4-inch stuff. It's a good small profile. Those super tough days, You can flip this around grass edges, around light brush, and still get bit even when the bite is hard to pick up. There was a day earlier this year, multiple days, throwing this, not specifically this one, but weighted wacky rigs, and it was my #1 fish catcher this year, by far, the wacky rig. One of the Lake Fork ring fry in there, and the last two, these kind of go together as a pair. Some TRD craws. You have seen me use these a ton on my channel. I honestly use these more than a TRD because fishing from the bank, you know, those rocky fishing jetties, I feel like a little craw like this here in Iowa, we have kind of the smaller craws. We usually don't have the big gargantuans. Usually smaller craws like this and a green pumpkin or a black and blue is really all you need to go out and catch some fish. Now, they were also nice enough, I was able to put in a pack of 3/16 ounce EWG Ned rig heads. These fit perfect on here. If you're a bank angler, these EWG Ned heads are amazing because it really helps you not get snagged as much. You can still get snagged in chunk rock, but you know, in case you come up on a branch or anything like that with an open hook Ned rig, it's usually tough loss, it's gone. But with these, it really does help a lot. You've seen me make some of these of my own through Do It and stuff. I really do like these. And I noticed the ones that they put out have a little bit heavier wire hook. The ones that I have are like a size 1 hook, I think, that I've made my own, and they're kind of a smaller wire hook. So I do like these that they are a 3/16, a little bit heavier. You could honestly probably throw one of these on a Baitcaster if you're comfortable with that. But there we go, the Ned EWG head from Monster Bass with the TRD craws. So there you have it. Those are my 9 lures, the 9 lures that I put in this box. Again, I'll link all this below if you want to pick up one. I would appreciate the support. I know Monster Bass would. And I appreciate the folks at Monster Bass reaching out to me and allowing me to do this. Pick a specific Debo box. Lures that, all these lures you've seen me use, I'm a fan of them. It's not just random stuff they threw in a box and slap my name on it. I wouldn't do that. So super cool of them to do that. Comment below and let me know, would you like to see me do some more boxes? Do some more stuff with Monster Bass in the future. It was honestly a lot of fun. And again, comment below if you want to be entered in the drawing. I'm going to give this box, this specific one, to a lucky winner out there. So comment below and let me know. Now today's subscribed fishing friend is my guy, Alan Bontamasi. Hopefully I said that right. He actually just messaged me right before I got ready to film this and said, hey, I just picked up a Debo box. Bunch of awesome stuff in there. Cool, fun idea. Again, I thought it was a cool, fun idea. So comment below and let me know. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, everybody else that picks up a box. They only have, I believe, 200 of these. As of now, I think there's only less than half left. So this is a one-time deal. When they're gone, they're gone. I wanted to put the video out in case you wanted to get an early jump and grab one. I hope you enjoy it. So that's enough for me today. Thank you all so much for the support. I appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching, and until next time.